Welcome, everyone. Hoping you are keeping warm. It is Stone Soup Poetry, believe it or not, for one more week. We are we are in the middle of a palate cleansing open mic between Jackie Chow's feature, which I hope you guys revisit, and MP Carver, Carver's feature. Carver is one of the architects of the Massachusetts Poetry Festival, which took place at the end of May. This past year. She's been involved with it in several aspects, and in the past, she's also the editor of Molecule magazine. Probably be posting a call for submissions based on that. Well, posting their call for submissions. I believe it's going on until August, and some other news coming up. And if I can get the person I want to close for the close for July or open for August, I can't wait to let you know that as well. We have an all open mic tonight. We have a round robin. The Ramdonator 5000 is ready to go, and the Ramdonator has chosen Ron Bremer to start us off tonight.
Okay, what do we have here? Okay, this one is going up in August in Gas Poetry, Art, and Music. It's called By the Numbers. Subcutaneous dreams ensconce sodden memories. Wishes from your secret self perpetuate themselves in a swollen cask like fine wine. 2. Push back the cuticles of daily subterfuge to find yourself lurking unawares. 3. The whole shebang wandered in search of freedom's sarcophagus on the dawn of an era presumed to be darkened by the blood of the Lamb, but actually consecrated to heights unimagined. 4. Your mental muscles move cautiously beyond the realm of sequestered innocence. 5. Your giving back the blue jeans you wore in yesterday's triumphs collided with my memories of unsanctioned, filibustered gallons of hope. 6. Dubious explanations dominated our desires. 7. Curious endeavors cornered the market on contrived creativity. Thank you and have a pleasant evening.
Thank you, Ron. Up next, I'd like to welcome up Patricia Kerrigan.
Okay, here's my commie poem written today. Hope I don't burn the airwaves here. I pledge allegiance. Red stripes are still hemorrhaging. A nation built on indigenous enslaved blood and justice for all became a quiet insurrection. Fake democracy became faker, stains the hands of the oligarch and his supporters. 13 white stars that colonized the land grew into 50, united with each red and white stripe, manifested its destiny to be number one. The blue background overwhelmed by the whiteness of the stars. Give me your tired, your poor, and huddled masses, and the ones in charge still grant you broken promises and bupkis for hope. You work as many jobs as possible to support a system that doesn't provide, but kills. Government assistance is being slashed while the waters rise in Texas and alligators at a swamp camp await those who are not welcomed. The American dream is a scam. Its flag flies tattered. On social media, we watch the scene from the movie Independence Day. That White House explosion hits differently now, more than ever. Thank you.
Thank you, Patricia. A reminder, we got 2 rounds for tonight's round robins. Let's bring it up now to Mr. Richard Spizak.
Thank you so much. It, as always, is a great honor to be here among these fine poets. How I snuck in, I don't really know. I guess Chad is a generous fellow. This is called very contemporary, Patricia. It's called Turning in Your Neighbors. Harsh enough? Starch the cuffs. I sort of like their sofa. I like their cars and stuff. Turn them in by lunchtime, grab their favorite chair. They'll be cleared out by 11, but then they'll just be cluttering up the jail. Repudiating humanism, it's a mechanistic age. With compulsory church attendance, public prayers now all the rage. Everyone wears their AI watcher. Don't leave home without it, Nacho. Even at bedtime, be no more a whisperer. You better shout about it. Keep your battery all charged up. Yeah, it's only a misdemeanor, but don't doubt it. If you're caught without it, oh, my dear, you'll learn what it's like when your ears and fingertips will surely feel the burn. And when your street block captain checks your record out online and your watch refuse to shine, you'll be emailed one big old hefty fine. No more lawn boys at the neighbors. All gardening will be done for white folks by prison labor. All those teachers and professors no longer highfalutin men of letters. No more at college or university. They'll no more think our betters. We emptied them out. We ain't got no more need. All the doctors will all work for insurance. So if you're poor, you'll need endurance. The whole thing runs on greed. I turned in all my neighbors. They were a suspicious lot. And when they left, we rounded up all the things they bought. We got great employment surges has centered in a few selected churches. Everyone must sign up now for compulsory attendance. No more private morality. You'll never more be friendless. So the churchy state rightward lurches. You'll see attendance now kept at churches. And when in church enforcers at the door hands out the new commandments, you better hope he signs your churchy list attendance. So many hours of prayer each day. You better get your card stamped by the neighbor anyway. You'll have to buy the leader's picture. It's mandatory now, or else you'll get a lecture. They'll be downloading your prayer histories. How fervent are your studies of the latest revision of the sacred Trumptations mysteries? And after they've rounded up the brown ones and the political media clown ones, the Dems were next, then the rhinos hexed. Into the gulags and the proud, profound ones, they must have their collars stretched. Those college professors were gathered to stand before the state confessors. Every classroom has its Bible belt, and should you, without your homework, be caught, or if you only if you offered a hefty bribe will you get back safely to your tribe. School now renounces formal learning, and didn't you smell all those books be burning? How much left for the discerning student when carrying books for study just isn't prudent. Best be an athlete now. All them art and music classes are long lost over, boy, and how. Idiocracy is the new ideal. No more transgender surgery. Shit, that was never real. No more punishment for perjury. No more stool pigeons with a big reveal. All the January 6th prisoners have been knighted, and all those choral horror hoodlums are delighted. Once a year they climb the dome to remind us all that Donnie's home. Thank you, my friends.
Thank you, Richard. And bringing it over now to Miss Jan Rowe of the Black Seed Riders Group.
Okay, good. It's strange because I wrote this again this week, although it was published in last week's stress. But anyway, it's called The Oldest People Live in the Steepest Places. We didn't break or destroy, we just investigated. I was rereading reading and rereading Nancy Drew, Trixie Belton, and the Bobbsey twins. Also, I was writing mysteries, though a child. Our entry was an unlocked sun porch window off a hidden patio. I remember the tiled floors as we illegally entered. Years later, when the mansion was occupied, I went to a party there, across the wooden steps, the public wooden steps. Larry was a year older than me. The Four Tops was playing. Freckled Brian was my sister's Bobby's age, and Manu, short for malnutrition, was my brother Bill's age. So I was about to start junior high atop a hill, which used to have directional changes summer and winter. Prospect and Bank Streets both change directions seasonally also. So any driver attempting Angle Hill in the snow would have sanity or alcohol level questioned. So the steepness of Front Street where the school was greater than 45 degrees. So they finally just closed it. Big poles pushed through the white brick Front Street. Couldn't access it. So walking, or more accurately, picking our way down that hill from the school, we would see books sliding by as their owners had fallen. This was before backpacks. Thank you.
Oops. Thank you, Jan. Oh, hi, Robert. How are you? We're going to, we'll get to you in time. I think we have, yes, we have Mr. Bill Lewis next.
Why, thank you, thank you, thank you. My friend Robbie Samuels has just published a book called Launch Your Books. This is a book about launching books. What he does is he tells you how to bring people together to help you launch your books. So he just launched this book. He has 207 reviews on his launch day. 207 reviews. And so he talks about how to get reviews, how to bring people together. So I'll put a pointer to this in the chat, because maybe some of you would like to have 207 reviews when you launch a book. But I shall now go on to my creative endeavors. Wait, yes, this will work. Mom. When I was in fourth grade, Mom would come into the classroom and lead us all in traditional American folk songs. She'd strum the guitar and sing cowboy songs and immigrant songs and labor union songs. It was the coolest thing. The other kids were jealous that I had such a fantastic mother. One song in particular was always her song. I ride an old paint, I lead an old Dan. I'm going to Montan for to throw the houlihan. They feed 'em in the coulees, they water in the draw. Their tails are all matted, their backs are all raw. Get along, little doggy, get along and slow, for the Snuffy and the Thudder are raring to go. I don't know why that song, I always thought of Mom as a horsewoman. It was she who started the Sunset Riders, the Hollywood Hills riding group, when I was 4 years old. It was the best thing ever. My brother Sandy and I, and later my little sister Jackie, loved riding in the hills, and we adored all animals. Oh, if there's any way to get a pet, we would. We had the family dogs and cats, of course, and then rats and mice and lizards and snakes and birds and fish and rabbits and guinea pigs, etc., including one pelican and a coyote. Yes, Mom and Dad let us keep a pelican in the swimming pool for a week, and then he flew off. Ah, the only time I remember my mom getting upset was when Goofy got lost. Yeah, that was kind of bad. Our gopher snake, Goofy, had gotten out of his cage, and Sandy and I could not find him. We searched for a week. There were no snakes available in the house, and we gave up. We figured he'd gotten out somewhere, and he was gone. Snakes only eat once a month, so it wasn't like he was in any trouble. My mother was having a bridge party. They were having a great time, and then one of the women spilled her purse in the back of the couch. So they pulled up the cushions to get her stuff out. Um, Mother was not pleased with us. But to show you what kind of a woman my mother was, she did not make us get rid of the animals. Sandy and I could not sit down for a week, but Goofy got to stay in a locked cage. But that's what kind of woman my wonderful mother was. Whoa! My mother was an educator. She created the early childhood education program at Santa Ana College. And she continued to work in education, ending up as the board member of the Victorville Valley College. The big reason that I went into education was because of my mother. And teaching has always been a near religious experience for me. But she passed on a few years ago, and for her funeral, I recited the little poem that my Granddot, used to recite for us as bedtime, and it always made me think of Mom and Granddot. And I thought I would end with this for you. She would put us to bed and say, "Night, night, sleep tight. Wake up bright in the morning light to do the right with all your might. Night, night."
Night night. Up next, by way of his book by way of Trebuchet. Let's welcome up Mr. John Wesick.
So, you remember last time Morris Pillbottle discovered that he had a long lost daughter he'd conceived with Stare Decisis, who was a cultural attache with the State Department? "You just get bailed out?" Lieutenant Filefolder asked. "Waiting for my long lost daughter." I scratched the seat of my pants, gone soggy from sitting on the police station steps. "Officer Nebula Decisis. We're having lunch." "Yeah, father'll do anything to protect his little girl." Filefolder held his fedora over his heart. "If you ever need to waterboard her ex-boyfriend or poison her sexist boss with radioactive plutonium, the department's got your back. Enjoy your lunch." Filefolder returned to his office to continue the manhunt for the grilled cheese bandit. Speaking of lunch, Nebula should have been here by now. My phone rang. "Morris Pillbottle, we have your daughter," an electronically disguised speaker said. "Daddy has a gun!" Nebula's voice cut off as if someone stuffed a cauliflower in her mouth. "If you want to see your little girl again, you need to deliver a summons to Aguacate Amarillo, better known as El Guaco," the kidnapper said. "You can't be serious," I replied. "He's the most dangerous smuggler in the Americas." "I'm serious as a heart attack." "That's a cliched metaphor. How about something more original?" "It's not a metaphor, it's a simile because it uses like or as. A metaphor would be something like, my love is a red, red rose." "There you go with the cliches again. This conversation isn't going any further until you give me something original." "Okay, I'm serious as psoriasis." "That's not very serious." "It is if you suffer from a tick-tock pill bottle. You have 72 hours. To be continued in the second half, and also I will post a link to the entire story so you can read it on your own.
Without your delivery, it just won't be the same, brother.
Well, that's true, but if anybody who reads Shakespeare can probably read it aloud, it'll be fine.
Up next, let's bring up our visual poet from Delaware. You know the one I'm talking about? No, not that one. No, not that one either. Yeah, you're right. This one, Robert Fleming. Come on up, sir.
Thank you, Chad. Good evening. I'm Robert Fleming, a visual poet from Delaware and a digital artist. Tonight, I'm going to share a new art series that I created, which I'm hoping to have a show with uh, maybe next year. So here we go. I have to find it. It's almost here. Here it is. So the main image of the show is the Cyclops, which is an imaginary character with one eye. I've created 41 works, and for a show, I will only submit 16. For the design, I've included all of the primary colors, red, yellow, blue, and their complements, green, purple, orange, and a few other colors, black and white, brown, and rainbow. Uh, Orientations, I have both horizontal and vertical, and both clear and crisp and smear. This image is primarily created with a Canva feature. On the left side, to have a clear and crisp image, you would use the liquify and set the melt amount to the highest and the wobble amount to the highest. If you wanted the image to then be smeared, you would add at the bottom one the smear to the maximum. And that's how you create a Cyclops in Canva. So here are the images of the primary colors. Primary colors of this is mostly red. And you can see the eye in the center. And then here is the same image, but with the primary color yellow. And here we have a different subject, which was the Lewis Cape May Ferry top deck. But I do have the eye on top. And here we have a blue primary color. And here we have two people integrated with the Cyclops in the center. And now these are the complementary colors. Here we have green and another green with sort of a monster standing. And purple. And then this is one of my favorites, purple and blue. Orange. And then a few other colors. This is the white one. The black and white one. And this is the black one, which was built with an image of a man who has hair very similar to Richard Spisak, but it's not Richard. And this is a couple that I took, started with a voxel art to make them look like Lego, and then I added the Cyclops eye. Here we are at a rainbow color and another rainbow. You see the way the paint looks thrown on the page? That's what I mean by smear. And then this is my favorite of the sequence. So thank you for letting me share my Cyclops series, and I probably will be using it to submit for solo art shows in 2026. Thank you and greetings from Delaware.
Good luck with your submissions, Robert. And with that, we have our final person on the open mic for the first round of this round robin. James Van Looy, take it away and catch you go. The rest of you can check out his poem tomorrow, and It's All One Thing, which it publishes every Thursday at 11 a.m. at oddballmagazine.com.
Thanks, Chad. Okay, so I got one here called, this is called Doddering Duopoly. Doddering duopoly ever-ready aging doll should be in an ancient history museum, but has us on the verge of World War III twice over at least. Regional war in Central Eurasia spreading into Russia, and that regional war cascading through West Asia as Israel amok in genocidal vengeance slaughters the Gaza Strip. North to south, nowhere safe. They drop notes and move the people from here to there under bombs as their engineers go about to use landmine mines in their demolition of schools, universities, and hospitals, while drones and smart bombs target the doctors and nurses, lawyers and journalists, actually intellectuals in general, often taking out whole families in the process. And then, as the UN World Court of Justice says, there's plausible case of Israel committing genocide in Gaza. Israel instantly responds by claiming the UN Relief Agency, tasked to supply aid to those starving people of Gaza, has 6 to 12 people working for them, who, among the agency's 13,000 workers in Gaza, a place with unemployment rate of over 50%, had connections to Hamas, the armed groups who busted out of besieged Gaza on October the 7th to attack the Israeli militarized encirclement at the Israeli Central Command Post, where the Palestinians still hold keys to the houses taken from them back in 1948 or 56 or 67 or 73, homes lost to the same genocidal fury taking their lives as the old European colonial powers whose actions led to the Holocaust aid Zionist fundamentalist genocide by canceling funding of the UN agency that's the only existing way to supply starving Gaza. So nice job, England, France, Germany, and the Netherlands, and yes, of course, the US, doddering US. And here's the song for you. Beautiful dreamer, wake unto me. Starlight and dewdrop are waiting for thee. Sounds of the rude world heard in the day, lulled by the moonlight, have all passed away. Beautiful dreamers, queen of my song, list while I woo thee with soft melody. Gone are the cares of life's busy throng. Beautiful dreamer, awake unto me. Beautiful dreamer, awake unto me. Thank you.
Thank you, James.
You gag going.
Oh, hey, Jason.
Hey, what's up, Chad?
How you doing? We were just finishing the first round of the round robin. Do you want to say a poem real quick for the first round?
Yeah, hold on a second.
No
Ready?
worries. I'll mute you while you're doing that. But once again, a reminder, next week we have MP Carver featuring on the 16th, again from 7 to 9. Feature for the last week of July, hopefully being announced very shortly. Jason, when you're ready, you can unmute.
You ready there, bud?
Yep, Jason Wright of oddballmagazine.com, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, Jaguar 576 potential. Ready? Half day around the world again, halfway indisposed. Knows the pros but doesn't get show. Waiting for the bells to stop. Back to the click clack. Freedom from a tic tac. Needing some composure, maybe a deadlock. Maybe need some stop, repeat, do it 3. OCD, dream stampede. Cygnus find me in my sleep. I can't dream the dream stampede. Falling asleep from NyQuil, picking this poem up. It's still got potential. Rhyming like a waiter waiting for a table. Hodgepodge of Dodge Cash rhyming because my mind everlasts since the last update. My mind is a ticking time bomb. Sing a new song, keep mine going when I'm overbaked, overdone. Frozen and high strung, not bothering anyone but me. I don't mind the Wi-Fi mind. Speak in my mind alone. Jason. Hold on. I'm
Okay, thank you, Jason. And now we go back to start, collect $200, pass go, and we start with our number one person from last round, Ron Bremer. You're here for round two.
Okay. Into the stone world flows a maelstrom of sublime mismanagement, the delight of zealots who foresee destruction of a now formless society. The root of survival, gangster-like, backslides into our dark history momentarily, after a glitch in the equipment retooling the system. Amplified en masse, the time-tested bait and switch of authentic lunacy for grandstanding chicanery points the way to survival for the duration. Thank you.
Thank you, Ron. Patricia Kerrigan, hope you have one more spicy poem, even if it's not one
Well,
you read
it's
today.
less spicy, less schmaltzy because this was written like over 20 years ago and I had to rewrite the damn thing. I even had to change the title because I couldn't stand it. It was originally called Kisses of Glass, but I changed it to The Shattered Vase. The crystal vase sat on the corner table. Time overlooked its usefulness, except by homeless dust. She removed the vase, washed it, and filled it with water for a rose to be placed inside. The rose was unusual in appearance. Its fragrance flirted with her nostrils. Over the next few hours, the rose opened, but this joy was temporary. The rose grew stale. Oh, I'm sorry. The rose. Can I start again? I messed this up. Sorry. Thank you.
Yep.
The crystal vase sat on the corner table. Time overlooked its usefulness, except by homeless dust. She removed the vase, washed it, and filled it with water for a rose to be placed inside. The rose was unusual in appearance. Its fragrance flirted with her nostrils. Over the next few hours, the rose opened, but this joy was temporary. The water grew stale. The rose's head began to droop. She took the vase to the kitchen and placed it on the counter. Her cell phone rang, and the vase was left alone. After the call, she heard a crash. A vase lay shattered on the tiled floor. She wondered how the vase was knocked over when it was sitting by the wall. She never knew why it mysteriously moved over the sink's edge for final glimpse of the fallen petals. When she took out the dustpan and sweeper, glass fragments touched each petal. After a second look, they were shaped like hearts. Thanks.
Thank you, Patricia. And Richard Spizak back for another one.
Certainly, certainly. This one I dedicate to our host, the kind, generous, thoughtful government employee who guards the veterans of America. This is called it's guarding, guarding against unnecessary care. As they continue to guard against unnecessary care, what is if it's his daughter or son buried there, even fast asleep under there? Would he still consider it unneeded, all this service, yet messages left unheeded? Just another greedhead, unnecessary, frivolous care? Where? What if his wife underwent the knife, and before some surgery, if the doctor in his naive fiscal ignorance thought there was some urgency, would he still think first of his 10,000 stockholders, or would he urge the scientist into action, perhaps even urgency, just like surgery? Say, fall out, crawl out underneath the bunker buster. What boulder would you soldier? Would he prefer the accountants decide what's needed when his mother there had been struck by a car and all over the hood she's been out there bleeding? Should the nurses check first with the bean counter crew before suggesting to the patient, well, after all, they might just pull through? And if the medical insurance exec can keep their profits soaring, should we put the patients out of their misery when they disturb your well-deserved sleep with their snoring? Is caring no longer affordable? Should we reset the bone or perhaps suggest just aspirin and send them all home? Oh, how adorable. Come on. Now get serious. Should we really pay for health when we might otherwise sneak out the side door with great baskets of wealth, albeit from loss of blood a touch delirious? You heard the other day, no doubt, when the question of prolonging anesthetic arose, we shout the insurance companies gave instructions. It was no longer necessary to keep a patient sedated through the whole operation. They might just go into shock and experience elation. Just a thing ad hoc. We can save money, that'll rock, and charge them a little extra for going into shock. Then on the way to the country club, we can purchase a bunch more stock. American healthcare. Profits onward.
Thank you, Richard. Miss Rowe, if you're so willing.
Well, this is actually something that happens at the Black Seed Writers. This is Howard's. I've known Howard a long time. He's homeless right now, but he wasn't before. But anyway, for a while. So they make these little books and they really like it. So Howard, he was telling me about the autobiographies he's read, and I was having lunch with him, and he said that he read Hurricane Carter's autobiography, where he's framed, and Corrie ten Boom, that was put in a concentration camp for helping the Jews. But anyway, this is in Harlem, the Netherlands. So this is something from Howard. Most of us spend half our lives incarcerated, thinking we're all trapped in the valley of hell, among dead men walking. Most of us never leave the world we trap ourselves in. But some people can get resurrected, brought back to life, by learning about themselves through reading books and our knack for writing. It's amazing what a book can do. So amazing how it seems you're looking for a book, but then a certain book is looking for you. And that's from Howard's book.
And that's the Three Stooges.
Oh, yeah, the Three Stooges.
He's into them.
He's into them. Thank you.
We are simpletons, tried and true. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Jan. Back over to, oh, is he here? Oh, back over to Bill Lewis.
Well, of course I'm here. Except this picture is not me. You can probably see. I lived in Estonia for the better part of half a year. And I lived with this woman for a while. She provided me a lodging, and we sat together and talked because we both spoke German. She told me about communism She had been writing letters to her friend. And when the communists came in, her mother rushed into her room and said, "Burn them all, burn them all, burn them all. If the communists find out." And they burned all her letters, and of course she survived. A third of the population did not survive the communists' invasion. And now the communists are saying they're coming back. Putin wants to come in again. He's calling them Nazis. Anyone you call Nazis, it's okay to kill because they're Nazis. Trump is a Nazi, you can kill him. Elon is a Nazi, you can kill him. Republicans are Nazi, you can kill them. You can kill anyone if you call them a Nazi. Is that not true? Ukrainians are all Nazis. Kill them, kill them, kill them. Why do we have to kill them again and again and again? Oh, I'm so depressed sometimes. I love this woman. And she has gone on to the next world by now. But I think of all my friends waiting there. They're putting up landmines. They have repudiated the landmine because they need landmines to protect them. Putin wants to come in. They're communists. They're the Russians. They're Nazis. Communists always kill Nazis. You have to kill if you are a communist. Why? 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 Alas.
Thank you, Bill. Up next, the continuation of the Pill Bottom saga with Mr. John Wesick.
Sign here. The delivery man handed me an envelope. I slid it open and examined the document inside. El Guaco's ex-wife was suing him for back dog support of Roxy the pit bull. I returned to my desk and rested my size 12 Oxfords next to the Rolodex to consider my options. El Guaco had made his fortune when tariffs tripled the price of avocados, sending the cost of each out of reach. And entrepreneurs sprang up to feed America's guacamole addiction, an addiction no amount of watery celery and tomatillo puree could satisfy, by sailing the oily fruit across the Gulf of America in military surplus U-boats. Of all the smugglers, El Guaco
Thank
was
God
the
he wrote
most
this recently.
ruthless. Excuse me, could somebody please mute? Of all the smugglers, El Guaco was the most ruthless, clawing his way to the top of the food chain with depth charges, assassinations, and bribery. Nevertheless, prosecutors risked their lives to build a case against him. After a plea deal and promised to never do it again, El Guaco surrendered to authorities. They sentenced him to 5 years in a private prison built to his specifications. The facility included hot tubs, water beds, tennis courts, wet bar, and a professional kitchen that served Wagyu beef, Iberico ham, and Long Island duck. El Guaco got to choose his guards, so he selected only his most loyal sicarios. There was no way in or out without El Guaco's permission. But he had one weakness: improv comedy. I needed to form an improv troupe fast. Since this was a suicide mission, I didn't want to enlist friends or even strangers. No, I needed lowlifes whose deaths would benefit society, and I knew just who. Gilbert Giza was 1/4 of a trio of criminals I'd tangled with in the broccoli caper. Choosing them meant I'd have to put up with a pompous ringleader, sniveling sycophant, and amnesiac bully, but at least they were doomed. Giza, this is Morris Pillbottle. I got a tip on an 18-karat gold kohlrabi the Knights Templar once paid in tribute to the Duke of Anchovy. Pack your steel-toed Hirachis and call the fat man. We're going to Mexicali. To be continued.
Thank you, John. And let's go over now to the artistic stylings of Mr. Robert Fleming one more time.
Good evening, I'm Robert. I will share some photographs which I took, which I intend to create as digital art. This is a vertical picture of a rose I took, which I will work on probably later this week. And then this is sort of like a canal which um, goes into the Delaware Bay. Here are a series of rhododendron flowers, all different variants on purple. This is more pinkish. And here is a garden with a fountain and some lily pads and just some upcoming. I'm one of the editors of Old Scratch Press and Instant Noodles. Next month in August, Old Scratch Press will feature on Blot from the Blue, which is an open mic out of Scotland, which Richard Spivak was the host of in July. Thank you, Richard. And one of our new writers, Anthony Doyle's book, Jonah's Map of the Whale, which was written in English, launched on Amazon as #1 in Spanish poetry. He is from South America and lives in Brazil. The digital magazine, Instant Noodles, the selections will be made uh, July 11th, and we'll be having a training session July 16th on how to produce the magazine. And just some upcoming news for me. Um, I have an artwork which will be at the Rehoboth Beat Art Gallery, a member show opening July 17th, and the Global Poetry Network's Black and White Anthology. I have 5 upcoming works in that. One with Chad Parenteau here, and Massador, who is doing an upcoming issue on women. I will be having 3 black and white photographs in the issue. So thank you for letting me share my upcoming digital art and upcoming events and publications.
And with that, and with Jason um, out, our last reader for tonight for the second round is James Van Loy once more.
Thanks, Chad. So I have a poem here called What Else Would You Do? It's one of my labyrinth poems, actually. Rise early in the morning before sunrise. File up the hill to the stone carved with triple double spirals. Pass around it and under the entrance with the lintel above to march between the carved curves of the long stone walls of Passage Cave to the center of old Mama Earth, the womb of the hill, to wait for the wane sun of the shortest day to finally line up with the lintel, to slowly creep down the tunnel to enlighten the inner chamber, to enlighten us all there in that scandal of our electric time, complete darkness. When from this absence of light comes the baby, who's the only one who can possibly save us, and from this silence comes the hallelujah chorus, as from this absence of light in the night comes peace. And I see him now as I draw Botticelli's labyrinth on the black asphalt sidewalk of the common with yellow chalk. And it's this little person, this guy going by, who starts following the arching coils of my half-finished design, and he gets it totally and refuses to be coaxed away by his now puzzled and then exasperated parents. Oh, how can you find a place to say what is not allowed to be said? How can you speak with a heckler right up in your face? What do you do with interjections meant only to distract? Who can withstand the lance that penetrates the weakest point? Tiptoe to the window, by the window, that is where I'll be. Come tiptoe through the tulips with me. Tiptoe from your pillow to the shadow of the willow tree, and tiptoe through the tulips with me. Knee deep in flowers we'll stray, we'll keep the showers away, and if I hold you in the garden, in the moonlight, will you pardon me and tiptoe through the tulips with me?
Thank you, James. And with that, we have our palate cleansing open mic. I hope all of you are here next week for MP Carver's feature and the future features for July, August, and September. And stay tuned for news about the Boston Poetry Marathon. Anyone who's local, I hope you try and make it for the week of August 16th and 17th. And that's about all I got right now. Hopefully, more announcements will be coming. Wouldn't mind trying to get an issue of Stone's Throw out. That's been kind of put on hold, but we'll see what happens. Until then, check out for announcements tomorrow and later this weekend. Have yourselves an excellent evening and take care of yourselves. Take care of someone else if you can. And take care. Show is over. We see you next time. Good night, everyone. And thanks for coming.